So Chapter 78 was kind of a big deal. We're no strangers to plot twists in this fandom. It was only 7 chapters ago that we were hit with a twist that threw the fandom into chaos. But this is the first time in a long while that we've gotten something that so completely changes everything we thought we knew. So let's dive in, explore what happened in this chapter, and what it could mean for the series, both looking back and going forward.
So how did we get here in the first place? To recap quickly, Ko and Nene entered the cursed house together to save a child whose cries they heard from outside the building. Once inside, they find a suspicious Hanako-looking child, and when Nene tried to take the child outside the house, she was pulled through a door and separated from Ko. Ko decides to go after her despite giving the option to leave, and so we began the tour through the house with this suspicious yet most adorable tour guide, who is now confirmed to be Tsukasa. While we toured through the Red House, we learned that the Red House is in fact infamous, and only those who have wishes may enter. So once this wish is fulfilled, the wisher must then offer something in return. The Red House, along with the kid, tries to draw out the desires of Ko and force him to make a wish. However, Ko uses his Uno reverse card and asks the kid the same question. So, what is this kid's wish anyways? The baby Tsukasa responds to Ko's question with, "My wish, huh?" As if his wish bears the weight of 1,000 suns.
Well, turns out it does. So one thing that makes this chapter unusual is the fact that the entire chapter is a flashback. We've gotten flashbacks before, usually when Yashido pulls off a seal, and then we get to see what led to that little object turning into a Yorishiro. But this is the first time that it's basically been the entirety of the chapter. It's as though the author is preparing us for a reflective journey on this arc, but who would have guessed that we were going to reflect on the Yugi's past of all things? I'm still in shock.
This flashback starts out with baby Tsukasa gathering very questionable things from their garden to show Amane. Some of these things he calls Amane's favorites, which we're just going to cutely brush over for now and hope it's never brought up again. Just kidding. When it comes on to Aida Iro-sama, everything in this manga can be analyzed. So, the bugs are called periodical cicadas, or magicicada nymphs. They are known for spending 99.5% of their 13 or 17-year-long lives in an immature state. In their mature state, they have wings. So, when Tsukasa plucked these bugs out the ground, in this state thereby killing them, it's a representation of how Amani's 13-year-long life is being cut short due to poor circulation. Poor guy. But doesn't the animal corpses seem kind of familiar though? Like the same skeletons we see surrounded and inside the creepy looking doll back in chapter 75, which, just in case you were wondering, are the skeletons of bearded dragon lizards.
I don't think it's a beardy.
It just looks like that to me.
But bearded dragons are native to Australia. What would they be doing in the Yugi's garden?
Well, that would just represent the uniqueness of the setting.
No!
Okay, can't we just agree that it's a lizard?
I can live with that.
But whatever the animal corpse is, it's most likely that Tsukasa put them there inside the dolls. Thankfully, the lizards were most likely dead by the time this happened.
Sue also had a cat, which he seems to treat relatively caringly. I mean, it's kind of a relief to know that he didn't go around stabbing all animals with blunt objects.
Only the talking ones.
Oh yeah, the talking ones. As for the flowers, we will come back to them soon. In case you haven't noticed as a TBHK fan, flowers play a really huge role in this series. You can find them depicted throughout the manga pages, and they're really prominent in chapter introductions. All flowers have meanings, and they're used to convey the underlying feelings of characters or tones of a scene. Therefore, they're good indicators of what's to come or what to expect from a specific arc or character. For example, baby Tsukasa, when offering to hold Ko's hand, had cotton buds in his background. Cotton buds in Japanese culture can signify helpfulness or usefulness, but it can also mean to conceal or hide. We know now that though this kid is useful when it comes to trying to find Nene, he also clearly has other plans for Ko.
Now to address the most, or maybe the second most, depending on who's your favorite character, heartbreaking aspect of this flashback. The fact that the little cute Amane that I just want to hug and squeeze to death is actually being squeezed to death, maybe by a stroke due to his poor circulation. Nevertheless, he only had a month to live.
And this is where the arc's MVP steps in, Baby Tsukasa himself, who steps in to save his brother by choosing to sacrifice himself. Just not right now, we've got a whole other thing going before we get to that point. Would your little brother or sister do that for you? Because I'm a younger sister, and I wouldn't do that. Does that make me a bad person?
I hope not.
So we know Baby Tsukasa spoke with the house spirits, we'll call them demons for now, before we transition into the whole birthday scene. And in this birthday scene, we learn the Yuki twins' birthday for the first time. What was their birthday?
November the 25th.
Oh, and we got their kanji reveal. Tsukasa's kanji revealed is this. The meaning is director, ruler, or govern. And Amane kanji reveal
Tsukasa then proceeds to have a final heart-to-heart with his big brother. Do you love me? Of course I do. Aww. Unfortunately, in this manga, all good things must come to an end. And Tsukasa gives his life up wholeheartedly to the house demons. He did this as if it was no big deal, as if the decision was as easy and as simple as drinking water. Bye-bye, Amane, he said. I think my heart broke and I'm still trying to find the pieces.
I think I found a few lying in the bathroom. No, wait, those were mine.
And the flashback comes to a close, with Amane looking for his brother in a room with a now closed hole in the ground.
Now remember the flowers Tsukasa picked out of the ground. Those flowers are known as cosmos flowers. They represent love, heart, and cleanliness. The fact that Tsukasa plucked not only the flowers but the roots along with the flower represents how he chooses to sacrifice himself with every fiber of his being, because the love he has for his brother is just that deeply rooted.
We are brought back to Ko, standing in the same position as Sue, who explains that his wish has been fulfilled and he therefore cannot leave the house. No, it's either a case where Ko has been standing in the same position for 5 minutes while Sue explains his backstory, or the black story was something explicitly for the audience's indulgence, and Ko knows nothing of it. I'm placing my bets on the latter option.
So this is a big deal. It's one of the biggest deals, because we know for a fact now that Baby Sue here is the real Tsukasa, and most importantly that he's been trapped in this house since his 4th birthday, which means that the Tsukasa we've come to know isn't the original. So what is he? Did the original Tsukasa split into 2 separate entities? Is he a clone created by the house? Is he a manifestation of the house itself? And on the flip side, does Hanako know that the person he killed wasn't actually his brother? How much did Amane know of this situation? If he doesn't know, then this revelation could have serious implications for Hanako's sense of guilt over what happened. If he does know, then I'm gonna have to re-examine my thoughts on Hanako's motivations, both for killing his brother and for everything he's done in the main series so far. But if we get into it too much now, we'll be here all day, so we'll save the theorizing for another video. The important things to take away from this chapter would be that 1. Baby Tsu and Tsukasa exist as 2 separate entities.
2. The red house was cursed before the Yugis moved in. Therefore, the alleged suicide did not cause the house's curse in the first place, so whether the family's suicide was the Yugis or not doesn't really matter.
3. The Yugi parents loved their boys. Yes, this is important. What happened to them?
4. The house targeted Tsukasa specifically. Whether this was because Sue was the only one who could see and hear the spirits, or if he was the one with the strongest wish, or if it was because the house had specific use for him. We just don't know. It could be all or none of these things, but we'll get back to that more in another video.
And that basically covers it. This chapter was a short one, but I'm sure we'll be feeling its effects for the rest of the series. Hopefully this helped clarify anything you found confusing and gave you a few more things to think about.
We'll see you next time.
And thanks for stopping by.